second to thank our organizers for putting this together. Hasn't it been great? Wasn't lunch delicious? And we can all say we were at the first International Cybersecurity Conference in Tbilisi. It was delicious food, you're correct. I want to share a story before we start. The topic of ours is academic and cross-sector collaboration. How the panel will be run is I'm going to say a few minutes, and then we're going to go to the left, and each person will introduce themselves and give a statement on this topic. Then I have a few prepared questions I will ask, and then we'll open the session. Does that sound good? Everyone okay with that? All right. So back in 2016, my sister worked for a company called Dyn, and they got bought by Oracle. And in October of 2016, the internet went dead for a number of companies. And it was because Dyn was a DNS server, and DNS takes the name Google and then switches it to an IP address so your message can get through. What had happened is the cybersecurity professionals at Dyn had told their bosses, they had told the executives that they were open to a denial of service attack. It was going to happen. However, they didn't necessarily have the capabilities of expressing that in a way that anyone understood. And as a result, the whole East Coast internet crashed for the whole morning. And I asked my sister, how was it there? And she said, that wasn't my project, I was fine. She says, but the rest of it was quite crazy. And so I think that brings an example of why collaboration both across departments and across universities is really important for the success in cybersecurity. This can't be a standalone field for us. So we're going to explore what skills and values we should prioritize for us, our cybersecurity professionals, as well as any graduates, how universities can better align with industry needs, and what models of academic industry collaborations you have experienced and what worked well. We're going to talk of some of the challenges that this can present, because it does come at a cost. So I will start right now with Levan Kistauri, who is our professor and dean of the School of Business, Computing, and Social Sciences here at SANGU University. Welcome, Levan.
Thank you. Hello, it's my privilege being here in front of you during this very interesting and important conference, I think. From the early beginning, I'm not a professional in IT, neither in cybersecurity, but I will talk more as an academic person, as a dean of this university, and same time as a person who has some experience in private sector, mostly in financial sector, banking, as well as in public sector. So, let's start. The Cybersecurity Master's Program, which was developed throughout the partnership between the SANGU and the NKU, really is a unique initiative in Georgia. It's a good and successful example of international academic cooperation. And there are several key factors which have contributed to the program's success, by my and our opinion. So first and main is the NKU's big experience and many years of experience in cybersecurity education, which allowed us to adopt a well-established and tested program model and save the significant time. Second is both NKU and SANGU's involve highly qualified academic staff in teaching and mentoring. And next is the SANGU's experience, deep understanding of local market. We have memorandums and cooperation with local public institutions as well as private companies, including such as Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Defense, State Revenue Service, different business associations, commercial banks, large local companies. We study their needs permanently and reflect them in the program's design. So all this makes this dual or joint program relevant and practical. And you know that we have a third graduating cohort already. So, by the way, we see also the potential in offering maybe short-term trainings as well, perhaps maybe 1-3 month training courses for professionals looking for reskill or upskill in cybersecurity. This could serve a different market segment and worth exploring further. Now, as for labor market and local market, from my experience, as I said, in both the financial and public sector, I can say that there is a demand and growing demand for cybersecurity professionals. In the modern global world, assessing the risk sensitivity of the financial institutions, special importance is attached to information technologies, digital tools, data processing, and accordingly cybersecurity. Risks and costs in these directions are growing. So accordingly, the demand for cybersecurity professionals is growing as well. The same is true for the public sector as well. When we talk about the public finances, state budget, local budgets, its efficiency and transparency, there are a number of challenges there, and cybersecurity plays a critical role in there. Institutions like the state, for example, institutions like the State Audit Office have started adopting international practices such as IT audit, which for public sector and public institutions, which also includes evaluation of cyber security readiness on their side. We see similar risks in many other areas. In general, implementation of cybersecurity measures depends on qualified personnel and accordingly on the education system. It can also be noted that it is possible to attract foreign professionals or transfer many cyber defense, cybersecurity measures to private sector or outsource it. However, both of these ways may give rise to other problems, which I will not dwell right now. To conclude, Georgia's national cybersecurity strategy and action plan for past years, which I believe will be renewed and adopted in some time in nearest future, was focused on few key areas. It's a building national cybersecurity capabilities, rising public awareness, and creating strong educational base and expanding international cooperation. Well, I believe that our cybersecurity master's program address all these directions and will play a significant role in supporting these national goals. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Giorgi Basiladze, he leads the master's program in cybersecurity here at SANGU, And he also manages the bachelor and master's program at computer science here.
Thank you, everyone. Good to see you here. It's an honor to be here and talking with you about this most important thing, which is academic and cross-sector collaboration. So without that, it's impossible to live now within the AI times and era. So I want to talk about, based on example of collaboration, NKU and SANGU. So thanks to Archbishop, it was started 6 years ago, and thanks to God, we have now second cohort defending the thesis in the next room. So it's honor to have this program here, first in Georgia, which improves the knowledge in direction of cybersecurity and gives us possibility to grow up the students and to give them education in direction of these cyber tools and cyber security defending tools. So when we were as an alumni, I can tell you that when we were in the US, in NKU, we had sectoral meetings in US Bank, in Kroger, in St. Elizabeth's Healthcare Center. So I saw there the collaboration between private, business, and academic sector. And this is the main thing which we want also to have here in Georgia. We also started the same process with private, with business and academic and government working, and this collaboration gives us more possibility to be able to give them the students or the results from the students, the education that they will have to be up to date. So I think these curriculums and everything what is related to the academic section and growing this part is very, very important to be this collaboration. So it's like a win-win-win scenario. So there is three sectors, business, private, public, and academic. Both are winning when they are collaborating and when they are creating something new together. Especially talking about cybersecurity, where we don't have any borders. So this process is also started here in Georgia. As you know, we have accreditation going, and this academic and cross-sector collaboration was the main basis of our curriculums and our programs, changed programs routes. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you, Maureen. Thank you, everyone. My name is Traian Marius Truta again, and I'm the director of the School of Computing and Analytics at Northern Kentucky University. Now I have a problem. The previous two speakers kind of took my lines. They're talking about the program, so I need to kind of improvise. So I start with the history of cybersecurity at NKU, so you know how this was developed in collaboration with our external partner. So let me start from the very beginning. 500 BC, I'm just joking. Let's start a little bit earlier. Around 2008, or maybe 2006, Northern Kentucky University wanted to apply and to become a center of excellence for the cybersecurity education. And this is a very significant certification offered by the Department of Homeland Security, United States. At that time, it was actually only a few universities that had this distinction. Now it's becoming more and more popular, and NKU was admitted early on in this program. As part of that initiative, of course, we were developing more and more cybersecurity courses, and we were embedding cybersecurity courses in our program. At that time, we were creating a track in the cybersecurity called Cybersecurity track in the Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. After that, several years after, we of course considered developing our portfolio of curriculum and of degrees, and we wanted to explore creating cybersecurity degrees. At that time, and actually part of the reason was the fact that we had this important distinction, we created advisory councils in which we invited people from various companies around the Northern Kentucky area and Cincinnati area to participate and to tell us what is needed in the public sector, in the private sector, regarding everything from computer science, cybersecurity, information technology, and so forth. So as part of the certification that we had to create a cybersecurity advisory board, and that was created early on. Then based on that model, and actually I believe Dr. Doyle, who is here with us, created the first computer science advisory board in which we brought together not just cybersecurity, computer science, computing professionals across the area. And through conversation with them, we realized that there is a bigger need than we thought of developing cybersecurity professionals, as well as in other areas too, data science, more recently AI, and so forth. So based on all those conversations, we decided to try to offer more cybersecurity degrees, and we started around 2017, maybe discussions a little bit early than that, to plan for launching a Master of Science in Cybersecurity, as well as maybe around the same time, a Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity as well. So I was part of the committee that developed the Master of Science in Cybersecurity, and it's not just this collaboration, the early collaboration with our advisory board, but as part of the development, we created a survey. We submitted this survey, and we collected data from more than maybe even 100, but at least 50 companies around the area. We asked whether they have a need in hiring more cybersecurity professionals. We asked what kind of subjects needs to be taught in that program. And I can tell you, for instance, that, and you remember, Giorgi, you had cloud computing. So cloud computing was actually extremely trendy at that time, and we had, I even remember, that individual from the advisory council that whenever we were talking about the degree said, you have to have cloud computing in that degree. So you can see that actually the cross-disciplinary collaboration between public institutions and private institutions create this kind of synergy and actually shapes the curriculum. And we were innovative enough to create not just one, but 2 cloud computing classes as part of the curriculum. In addition to cloud computing, which is a very valuable class, you also have cloud security as well. And of course, other classes were also shaped by this collaboration. And you know, when SANGU representatives came to NKU, we were just starting the program maybe 1 or 2 years, so the program was relatively new, but that was actually in everybody's advantage because we had something new and fresh. And when SANGU people saw the curriculum and they realized the value that we offer, and then we just need to start the collaboration, work on various challenging, how we were able to embed the programs to create this joint program in cybersecurity. And at this point, I call it very successful because we are already graduating the 2nd cohort. We are already having as part of the program 4 cohorts, and soon the 5th cohort will be enrolled in the program. So overall, I think this program works very well. So, you know, in conclusion, I would say that every institution, academic institution, needs to be connected with the region and maybe with the world overall, not just with the local region, in order to understand the trends. And this is more and more important if you are talking about cybersecurity or computing areas or artificial intelligence, because those are moving extremely fast. and curriculum needs to be always recreated, redeveloped in order to be up to date and serve the needs of the employers in the area and in the world. So I think those are my remarks. Thank you. And
I got to say thank you, Marius. This is half of my talk, so you made my job so easy. Hassan Hassab, I'm the Dean of the Haile College of Business. Just talking about the idea of being connected to businesses and private sector and government and the importance of that for academia. I would say this is kind of very critical relationship when we think about what we do in higher ed. And this is just to simplify the process. We are in a business of educating students for jobs that have not been created yet, to use technology that has not been invented, to solve problems that have not been identified. And when you think about this, there is a very high level of ambiguity and uncertainty that we need to face in higher education. And one of the questions that all the time we ask, are we still relevant as universities? Are we producing the talents that the job market is in need of? And simply to answer this question, or trying to be more relevant or stay relevant as we used to be, because this higher education institution was relevant, still relevant, I would say, for a very, very long time. But this doubt that's coming around what we do in higher ed is really happening because the changes that happens every day are radically changes. They are not incremental anymore. And one way to reduce this level of uncertainty and ambiguity is to work closely with private sector, to work closely with the community, to work closely with the government agencies. When we think about what we do in higher ed, we can say that we do three things. Number one, we educate. Number two, we create knowledge. And number three, we serve the community. So thinking about the first one, that we educate, and Marius covered this very well. You know, you need to be relevant in your curricula. You need to be relevant in what skills are you producing to the market. Are employers excited about your product? Students are our product, and employers are our customers. Is the customer happy with the product that you produce? Do we give the market the talents that they are looking for? So one way to reduce this gap is mainly to work very closely in curricula with business, with government, but also to bring them to be part of your day-to-day operations if possible. Guest speakers to your students, projects that you can give, real-life projects that you can get from businesses and give it to the students so they can perform from day one. The second function that we do is to create knowledge. Universities are in business to do research and to create knowledge. Do we do relevant research? What are we researching exactly? And part of this research agenda could be established with the industry, could be established with government, could be established with the community organizations. More important is if they can fund some of these research opportunities for your faculty and students to do this research. The third part is to look at the community. We are very capable in higher ed to help the community to solve their problems. When we look at IT and cybersecurity, I think cybersecurity is not, in my opinion, an IT issue only. It is a public good. And what can we do together, academia and business, to increase awareness, to solve the problems, is beyond what we can imagine if we work together. Talking about this relationship, what could make this relationship a successful relationship? As an academia, when we enter a relationship with business, we need to think about the mutual benefits. What industry would benefit and gain from this relationship? What would I gain as a university from this relationship? And you need to identify what a successful relationship could be before you start this relationship. And you map it back to what you need to do and what you ask your industry partners to do. The second part is this relationship needs to be a sustained relationship. What does it mean? One-time project is great, but multi-years operation and strategic relationship is what you should be looking for. And this could cover, as I said, education, curricula from one side, from the other side, research and project, from the third side, if possible, what can we do together to solve our community problems. The third pillar for this relation to be successful is what we call it shared governance. Your partners need to have a seat at the table in putting together the strategic plan for implementing what you need to implement with them, and also to be able to be sharing the decision making. If you bring them just to use them, this is not a sustainable relation. There is no value that you create for them. And again, the greater value that we create as an institution, higher ed, is the pipeline of talent. No one can ignore this, but you need to have the relevant skills, the relevant pipeline, and also to give them a seat at the table.
Thank you. All right, you brought up some interesting topics, and one of what it ties into the first question, is, you know, I think we have a fantastic degree program, we have fantastic business programs and computer science programs, but if you think about cross-sector collaboration both across the country and within your own schools, what skills and values do you think we might prioritize if we broke all the silos in training our next generation of cybersecurity professionals or cyber-aware professionals? Anyone want to take that?
I can start very, very quickly in terms of skills and values. You know, of course, it's very important to embed both technical knowledge about cybersecurity, but also, I would say, ethical reasoning and critical thinking about cybersecurity, the knowledge about regulations and so forth. So I think those are all important things that needs to be included in any training program for any cybersecurity program or degree. So combining that both technical aspects as well as with the other aspects which are more soft skills, as well as I said, ethical law policies are very important.
I think the first and the most important part is to know the regulations, standards, and after that starts the most important part, practice. Without practice, there's nothing to do in cybersecurity. Without practice, theory is just theory and that's it. So practice and theory gives the possibility to be a good cybersecurity specialist.
So a few of you have talked about partnerships that we have had through councils, through multi-year projects, through curriculum development. And I'm curious if anyone would like to share an effective model, one of your most effective models where you collaborated with someone in industry, and then through your experience, what barriers may have came up from them being sustainable. So you develop a partnership, and over time, what may have prevented them from being sustainable? Would anyone like to take that?
Well, we do have at the college some courses that we call them experiential learning courses. One of them was well developed in marketing, not cybersecurity. It's called the Underground Agency, where the professor and students working as a consultant for business. And at the beginning, the first day of the class, someone will come from the company, say, here is the problem that we have, and you are my client, you are my consultant, work on this. This has been going on for more than, I believe, 10 years. This model won what we call it the innovation that inspire from the accrediting body SASP in business. And it was big news that this model of collaboration with private business is being going on for a longer time and being successful. You are asking about some of the barriers. I think I'm gonna go the other way around. What makes this a success? I think there is a strong alignment between what we need to achieve and what the business needs. And we have very clear understanding from the beginning that what we need from you is to train our students a real-life problem that you are facing. We need you to provide us with the data that students can use. Give us exactly what are you looking for from this project. And from the side of the business, they are looking for a solution. And you will be surprised that sometimes they tell us this is much better than the 100,000 that we paid for a consultant to give us a solution. So the good part of it, every year, about 5 to 10 students are offered jobs from these companies before they graduate. And it has been a very successful example. So again, going back to how you make this relation successful, and it's very important, I'm going back to your point, practice, experiential learning, hands-on education. That's what we need to make our students ready from day one to perform. But again, when you enter this relation, you need to align your interest with the interest of the business. If it doesn't happen, you need to align the understanding with the understanding of the business. Another model that didn't work well, that was a project, and the professor divided the class to 7 groups, each group 5 students, and 1 contact person from the business, and every group was sending emails and questions every day to that person. And he said to me, this became my full-time job to answer emails for your students. So we didn't design this well. We could have designed in a different way. But the point here is, again, we didn't understand I would say to some extent that probably we need a 1 contact person for the entire group to contact that person because he has a real job and he's not working for our class and for the university. I hope I answered the question. So I will try to comment about this, but please take one more time into consideration that I'm not a cybersecurity professional. I am from economic and business field, and I'm a dean in this university, but at the same time I'm a head of business administration program. So from this point of view, on my program example, I will say how we cooperate with private sector as well as public sector. Well, they are from the early beginning of, they were from the early beginning of developing our program involved into this, and they even kind of give us the orders, what they need. Finally, what we do, we produce from them, our product is students. Our product is professionals on the market. So there should be demand. So the market orders us what they want, no matter in cybersecurity field or business field or in any other. So this collaboration, cooperation, listening and feeling on a yearly basis what market representatives want, what are their needs, it's very important and crucially important. So cybersecurity master's program is a successful story of cooperation between our 2 universities, but I hope and I believe that we will have different fields of cooperations as well in different areas. I believe in business administration area as well. Thank you.
All right, I do have more questions, but I'd like to open up to the audience. Does anyone in the audience have a question? Can we get a mic? Thank you. Did someone? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a few questions. First of all, thank you for this opportunity. Professor Mr. Hassan, you mentioned experiential learning. Is it possible for students to work on thesis in a collaboration with a company to work on real-life industry challenge? Also, I would like to ask about curriculum. Is it significantly changed after development of generative AI? And I have one more question, just general question. Okay.
Well, let me remember the first one.
Okay.
Is it
Sure.
possible to work on a real problem for your thesis? I think
Yes.
the answer is Yes, it depends on the topic and also your advisor and the problem that you are trying to solve. My thesis when I was at the master's level was working on the bank lending, private lending agreements, and I did work in creating a model. It's kind of how to waive the violation of not paying the loan without being penalized as a company. So it's very possible. As a matter of fact, it's more desirable if you don't go to the level of the PhD when you have to create new knowledge rather than solving only a problem that could be repeated. So it's possible. The second question, AI and curricula, I think that's will change what we do. If you think about the cycle that we have with curricula, it takes 2 years to change, a course and come up with something new. I'm talking about the approval process, the creation of the knowledge. Now you can have creation of this knowledge almost every day. And instead of being very, fixated on what you have, you can insert this new knowledge to your class. Of course, you want to make sure that it's not from open resources that's not well verified. But definitely this will change what we do. Higher ed needs to catch up. We need to shorten our cycle of changing the curricula and make it faster a little bit than what we have right now.
All right, yes, sir, question?
Thank you so much.
You can go, yeah, sure.
Okay.
I just was getting lost.
I have one general question. I was studying in Europe, and our focus was on sustainable development goals, and this is how we were thinking that this is global problems. How about states? In this case, I would say SDG 9 is compatible to AI and industry innovation. And how do you define global problems? Is it specific for states, or do you use SDG as a global problem?
Well, if you don't mind, I will take this question. Let me go back to the first part of your question. In business, if you are accredited by SSP, you have to meet one standard called societal impact. And some of the standards that you mentioned, some US schools are using them. Other schools, they come up with sustainable or societal problems that are relevant to where they are reside and with their very specific community. So it's possible some will do this and some others will not. And now the direction with the accreditation is you need to deal with a problem that in your region, in your area, rather than global problems. But let me add this because this is important. Every single business and every single problem is a global problem. Whether you are working with this problem from your basement, from your apartment, from your flat, from your class, whether you never traveled abroad, you are dealing with global and international problems, whether you like it or not. So the globalization is coming to you even if you don't go to globalization. It's part of what we teach our students to have this, international or global mindset, because they will be dealing with this whether they never left their street or their house or their city, and many of our students never traveled outside their state. But still, we try to instill in them the global mindset because it's important for success.
Thank you. That was a great answer. We have time for one more question.
I have a question if there are no hands. Oh, there are hands. Okay.
So I have a question about universities offer more advanced knowledge, more deep diving technical sections, and they give us more than just script kidding. Based on this, why are certificates like OCP and that kind of certificates given higher priority than university diploma? And also, how can this be changed?
So,
Thank you.
yeah, so, you are talking about certificates in general, and of course there are many cybersecurity certificates. Now, it really depends of the priority that is given to the certificates, because depending on who you are talking, there are employers that value more a degree than certificates. The problem with, the reason why in some cases certificates are considered valuable is because they are across the world. So everybody can hear about a specific, like CIASP certificate or NIST certificate, or talking about Oracle OCA, OCP certifications. So those are general. But there is, many times I talked with the employers regarding this. And sometimes, and I had the example myself, some of those certificates does not value critical thinking as much. So employers, in some cases, once they get more familiar with the knowledge that is delivered by a degree versus certificate, they will say, well, we also would like someone that has the degree because we know they are able to adapt. Someone with a certificate, they know the knowledge for that particular certificate, which occasionally could be just limited, you know this particular technology, and that's it. Cisco is like that, Cisco certification like that. So from that perspective, I do not agree with your assessment. And actually, based on conversation that I had with many individuals in the industry, in most cases, HR people that are hiring, they are looking at certificates because it's easier for them. But once you get to the point of talking with individuals that are in the field, they are looking more holistically at the individual that they hire, not just the certificate, and degrees takes a lot more importance, as well as individual perspective of that person that they would interview. So again, the answer is in a way mixed.
May I add something? I kind of agree with Marius and agree with you at the same time. Talking to executives, they said that you are not, higher ed is not producing the quality of students and the skills we are looking for. And some of them will say, probably I could hire someone with X certificates, 3-6 months of training, and they will do the job that I'm looking for. So there is some reality to what you are saying. Why it's happening, it doesn't mean that this certificate has higher value than the degree or diploma. But it means for us that we need to review what we do. We need to reassess what we do. Why employers are feeling the gap, and what can we do to close this gap? Can we change our curricula to be able to serve you to gain this certificate through the 4 years that you will be in students during? I think it's possible. I think that's the direction that many higher ed institutions will take in the short run, and we are forced to do this. So it goes back to the first point that I mentioned. How can we stay relevant? How can we produce the product and student that the employer will be satisfied with? And again, the certificate that trains you to do a specific job is not what higher ed is doing. Higher ed is building a personality, building a leadership, building skills that will last with you for long, to be able to learn on your own and to grow on your own.
Thank you. And I would like to thank all of you and our fabulous panel, and wishing you a great afternoon.